Welcome, Libra, to your September 2023 ethics reading with me, Daniel Natal, where you'll get your Natal chart. The themes this month are going to be related to kind of personal goals that you can be setting. Also, there is going to be the opportunity for kind of new interests that might pop up for you. On the downside, some of the things that might affect you are going to be kind of communication lapses and snafus. So be careful to look at those. One of the things that I am a big believer in is the universe talking to you. And I've got these handy dandy ethics cards, and the universe might give you messages. I will shuffle these cards and we will see if there are any thoughts that come to you. These are from the greatest thinkers and minds, philosophers, ethicists, etc. of all time. And I will pick out 3 cards. To see if the universe has any specific messages for you this month. And the first card is value the task more than the prize, Confucius. I'll repeat that. Value the task more than the prize. This is a fundamental precept of ethics, is that ethics cares about the means. I mean, the means and the end are both important, right? Whereas utilitarian thinking, they just believe that the end justifies the means, right? So they just care about the end. They don't care about the means. For instance, a utilitarian person, if he wants to get $1 million, he doesn't care if he's got to lie, cheat, and steal to get it. He doesn't care about the means. The ethical person, however, cares about the means. It's very important to him to do the right thing, not just to get something done, but to do it in the right way. And that's one of your messages this month. One of my messages too, because I happen to be a Libra. Another message for you this month is the most important attribute of man as a moral being is the faculty of self-control. Herbert Spencer. The most important attribute of man as a moral being is the faculty of self-control. This is also a key precept of ethics, right? Ethics is self-control, like right, personal development as self-control, so that you are motivated, you are actuated by your inner values, not by any external exigencies, right? Like a drug addict, as an example, he will steal a TV. Not that he wants to steal the TV, but his addiction is kind of driving him, is manipulating him. And so ethics is all about getting rid of vices and going to virtues, because you want to be controlled by your inner values, right? And Epictetus says that in antiquity. He says that no man is truly free who is a slave to his vices. And we live in a culture, unfortunately, that kind of promotes vice to you, because vice is very easy to monetize, right? The difference between a virtue and a vice is, in a vice, you get the good feeling up front and you get the damage afterwards, right? So it's on the back end, so you're not aware of it. It's kind of like people have used the metaphor, if you drop a hammer on your foot, you get an immediate pain signal, so you know not to drop a hammer on your foot. Now imagine if the pain signal was separated by 6 months. You wouldn't immediately make the connection, right? And this is, so you'll continue to do the bad thing that hurts you. And this is why we are so susceptible to eating bad food or taking bad pharmaceuticals, like filling our bodies with all these things, because we might not see the damage for, several years, and we don't ever make the connection, right? And so vice relies on that, where they'll give you the good feeling up front, the drugs or the alcohol or the gambling or the prostitution, and then you get the disease only later. In virtue, it's the opposite. In virtue, the pain is up front, right? It's front loaded. So for instance, if you want to exercise and get muscles, right? You might be doing it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then all of a sudden you'll see the dividends on the back end, right? But you have that initial pain up front, and at first you don't see any dividends. You don't see where this is leading, right? But eventually you get that payout, and that's where true happiness comes from. The sustained effort. Character is based on sustained effort, and that's basically, or another example would be language acquisition, right? So if you're learning a foreign language, it's painful at first. Your brain hurts trying to memorize all those conjugations. But after a year of doing it, and you speak to somebody from a foreign land, you suddenly get this feeling of, wow, I'm happy. I've increased my human capital. I've become a better person, and that's why we value those things, right? Because it takes character to have the sustained effort to be able to achieve that goal. And so basically that's, an ethical person will go toward virtues, right? It's a lot harder to do virtues, which is why the society doesn't really market them. They market vices. So this month, one of the messages to you is to pay attention to the means, not just the kind of the slick payout, right? Because then you'll be making bad decisions. But remember, have good goals based on your values, and then do the proper means to achieve that goal. That is ethics. The third message to you this month is virtue has been the chief competitor with pleasure for the position of the soul good. G.E. Moore. Virtue has been the chief competitor with pleasure for the position of soul good. And we were just hitting upon that theme, right? Where, are we actuated by pleasure or are we actuated by virtue? And they're not always the same thing, right? So somebody who is senses based, and this is one of the things that you have to be mindful of, Libra, and I have to be mindful of too, is that symbol back there that I have is not just an A and an E for actionable ethics, but it's also kind of got 3 levels. And those 3 levels, as you know, are based on Plato's Republic, where he talks about society is essentially composed of 3 types of people. At the top are truth-based people like philosophers, scientists. In the middle are honor-based people, and those are people actuated by, they want to be respected, and those are going to be like police officers, soldiers, judges, politicians. And at the bottom are senses-based people, and these are people who are actuated by sensory stimulation. And at its bad point, in its good aspect, it could be like you like art and aesthetics and stuff like that. At its bad point, you will be more susceptible to vice. And so we have to be careful about that this month. And so those are some of your themes for this month that the universe is sending out to you. And I will see you next time. Remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons. And if you want some extra personal ethics coaching for an issue that you might have, you can set up a Zoom call with me by pressing the button below in the description. Pick what calendar date and time you want, and we can hash over whatever thorny moral dilemma you're facing. Also check out my Ethics Fundamentals course. The links are below, and I will catch you next time. Get my book, Actionable Ethics, to understand the basic concepts of ethics, as well as to learn how and why moral structures permitted us to create an advanced civilization. Without those moral structures, society falls apart. You can order the ebook by going to my website, actionableethics.com, or a physical copy by going to online retailers like Amazon.com. Learn how to embed ethics into your business processes during onboarding for new employees, and discover how to generate an ethical cultural field at your business or even among your children at home. Order it now. Actionable Ethics.